Hi, this is Joseph Williams, son of John Williams, and you are watching the Nerfherder Council.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Nerfherder Council. I am your host, JT. We are live on Facebook and YouTube, and for the very first time here tonight, we are live on the virtual Cantina network, both on the YouTube channel and the Facebook page. We are brought to you by Audible. Go to audibletrial.com/NHC for your 30-day trial and a free audiobook download. If you would like to get some customizable Nerfherder Council swag, you can do so at shop.nerfherdercouncil.com. If you are watching on YouTube, please click that like button, click that subscribe button, and smash that notification bell so that you are notified every time we go live. If you are watching from the Nerfherder Council's page, go to the virtual Cantina Networks page and give them a like, a subscribe, and all those good happy crappy things. Speaking of crappy, I just wanted to remind everybody, all you first-time viewers, a little bit of a warning, there might be some bad language in our show, so if you're offended by that kind of thing, yeah, it might happen. And they also wanted me to let you know that the opinions of the Nerfherder Council, me and the guy I'm about to bring on, do not necessarily represent those of the virtual Cantina network, and that's probably because some of them think Purgles are actually a good idea. So anyway, without further ado, let me bring on my brother, my co-host, my best friend, AJ. What is going on, man? We have finally, the Nerfherder Council has made it to the virtual Cantina network. Paraphrase The Rock a little bit there.
I smell what you're cooking.
Nice. Well, yeah, man, here we are. It's our first time on the virtual Cantina network. We are extremely pleased to be here. We are very humbled and honored that the network asked us to be a part of their phenomenal lineup of programming. And hopefully you guys enjoy it. AJ, I kind of feel like, you know, first and foremost, do a little bit of housekeeping here. So obviously, you know, we have a TeePublic store, but so does the virtual Cantina network. So if you'd like to get some virtual Cantina network gear, just go to teepublic.com/user/virtual-cantina, and you can get all manner of different really cool virtual Cantina stuff there. And AJ, we finally have a Patreon, so that's your baby. So I'm going to let you talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so, you know, and corresponding with our launch on the network here, we decided it was time to take ourselves at least a little bit seriously, but not too much. Don't worry, not too much. But yeah, so we've got some ideas for the show. Unfortunately, costs are a real thing on a podcast, so we're not doing this as a get rich quick or even a make any money whatsoever kind of scheme. But we would like to do some stuff that is going to start to stretch our budget a little bit. So if you would like to contribute to the show and help us bring those things to fruition, you can certainly do so. Now, fair warning, this is our first time even dabbling with Patreon as creators, not contributors. So we're starting out small. We've only got 2 tiers for right now, and we've got a poll up asking for suggestions on other rewards that you'd like to see for additional reward tiers in the future. But you can contribute $1 a month, just one whole dollar, and we will go ahead and put your name up on the screen at the end of our show as a contributor. Or you can go to our $3 a month plan, which will give you early access to our podcast audio, which is normally published on the Sunday following this live stream. We will get that up for you, hopefully, if we're diligent about it, 2 to 3 days in advance, so maybe as early as tomorrow.
So pay for it, and they'll hopefully get something. That's good.
We're definitely getting it early. It's definitely happening early. Promise turnaround time is – that's why we're starting light. That's why we're starting light, okay? We're doing what we can for sure first. Well, we'll move on to more ambitious goals later. But the $3 will get you early access to the podcast audio through the Patreon feed, and will also get your name in the contributors list at the end of our live streams as well. So those are the 2 options you've got if you want to help chip in towards the show. And like I said, I've got ideas and I'm looking for suggestions on other things you guys want to see for additional reward tiers. I put up a couple suggestions like watch-alongs or a game night or WTF Friday content, which is something we do, is just random, whatever Friday streams. We might be able to do something like that. Like I said, anything you guys want to see, let us know, and then maybe we can make it happen for you. But in the meantime, enjoy the show, and you never have to contribute anything to get our full content right here.
Yep. I actually, AJ, I was thinking about this. I actually set up a $25 tier, and basically for $25, if you donate $25 a month, I'll send you an email that says thanks. So, pretty cool. I figure that's
not bad.
pretty.
That's not
pretty
bad.
generous.
You can't get that just anywhere.
No, you can't. I mean, why would I send you an email that says thanks otherwise? I mean, it's a very rare thing to get. So I can't even keep a straight face. So, all right. So moving on, before we get into tonight's topic, which we are going to give our reaction to the first 3 episodes of the Disney Plus series Ahsoka, obviously. For the people who are just tuning in for the first time, Spencer Jowitz says, John isn't a nice guy. Spencer, I'm going to kick you off your own network.
I say Banhammer right away.
Banned from the chat. Mike Delatorre is a new face. Says, hello there. Good to see you, man. Thanks for tuning in. Our good buddy Kale McLeish says, is it just the one word? Yes, Kale, just one word. Thanks. You get what you get.
Well, we've got the $50 tier. You get thank you.
Exactly. Oh,
if you
man.
want your name, that's another $10.
Yeah, $60 tier. It goes up by the word count. Mark Thrasher, one of our very, very best friends, says, awesome, good to see you guys. Always great to see you, brother. So for those of you guys who are tuning in for the first time, a little background on the show so you know what you're getting yourselves into. We've been doing this since December of 2015. Our first show was pretty much an immediate reaction to The Force Awakens. So we've been going strong for close to 8-9 years. And basically, we don't really have a format besides just to talk. It's basically an excuse for me and my brother AJ to hang out. We don't take ourselves seriously. We say a lot of stupid stuff. We're huge nerds, but not as nerdy as we could be, I think. So
that's also why we launched the Patreon. I need paid to spend time with this guy.
Oh boy, I hate that we have an overlay because now I can't dump you out of here. Oh my gosh. But yeah, so it's and not every one of our shows is Star Wars related. Sometimes we feel like talking about other stuff like Marvel, or we've done episodes about Halloween movies and all this kind of stuff. Brad Williams, good to see you, man. Thank you very much for tuning in. He says, first time listener, looking forward to your thoughts on Rebels season 5.
Oh, we will get there. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much where we're at, I think, Brad. You're not wrong. But yeah, as I said at the beginning, sometimes we're going to swear. We don't do it on purpose. None of this is planned out. It's just us really, AJ and I just bullshitting. So, I mean, that's all it is. So hopefully you guys enjoy it. And if you don't, you didn't pay for it, so you can't really complain.
Yeah, and there's one of those swear words you were just talking about. So,
yes.
Another quick thing. If you notice on the screen, we've got 2 QR codes. All the links for both the Virtual Cantina Network and our show are down there. Just the one to the left of your screen is for the Virtual Cantina Network. The one to your right of your screen is for our links. You can hit up everything there.
Yep. All right. Well, now that we've gotten through all that stuff, man, let's get into it now. Okay. So we've got 3 episodes of Ahsoka so far. Mm-hmm. Hence the name of the show. I'm just going to get this out of the way. All right. For those of you who don't already know, I absolutely hate Purgle. I can't stand him. I think it is the dumbest idea in all of Star Wars. It is putrid. It is horrific. And I absolutely hate the fact that those goddamn things are in live action. They suck. Okay? The 3 worst things in Star Wars: number 1, Purgle; number 2, The World Between Worlds; and number 3, Carrie Poppins. So if any of you guys hate that, I'm sorry. That's where I stand. Space whales are dumb, okay? Don't give me this, they go through, frickin' hyperspace. You know what? They said it right in the beginning of friggin' episode 4. Going through hyperspace ain't like dust and crops, boy, but now a damn whale can do it? Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Sure, okay, whatever. I hate them. So anyways.
Are we just going to jump right into the Purgles? We're not going to bother with anything else from the show? We're just going to go straight to Purgles?
It's another disclaimer, man. Kale McLeish says, these guys actually have a real passion for the subjects they're talking about, but not always for the positive side, as you'll find out shortly. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you were a bit late on that take there, Kale. Sorry. John decided to go nuclear right away.
I just got to get it out of my system so I could talk about something a little more serious. So, all right.
I'm just glad your phone plan doesn't charge you by the capital letter in text, because you would owe them like $1,000 after last night's episode.
I was pissed, man. I was pissed.
Guys, audio viewers, the number of messages he sent me blew up my phone to where like I started
Audience.
texting stuff about later in the episode. And then I realized he was live streaming basically to me. He was like live tweeting at my phone saying how much he hated the actual Purgle scene as it was happening. He didn't even wait to finish watching the show before he had to text me every bit of hatred he had for that scene. Incredible. Incredible.
I can't stand the concept, man. It's not my thing. Kale McLeish says, "Oh, sweet. So does that mean Maul's death has fallen off the shit list?" No. Man, oh man. Oh, Wayne Joyner, what's up, man? Good to see you, buddy. He says, "Yo, Wayne is a very good friend of mine from my music podcast, Talking Into Infinity." Good to see you, Wayne. Thanks for tuning in. Yep. Spencer says, "I actually said on our Ahsoka support group, I can visualize John throwing a shoe." Yeah, pretty much.
But who throws a shoe?
Dude,
Honestly.
Like, and by the way, guys, that's one more thing about the show, and then we'll get going here into some thoughts. But we do encourage participation in the chat. We like to bring people's comments up and have you guys kind of drive the show and take part in it. We're very interactive, so feel free to jump in the chat and give us your thoughts and whatnot. But yeah, so I'll my general thoughts so far on the show, AJ. I like it so far. It's got some weak spots. It's got some strong spots. The Hafu are cool.
Sorry, we do callbacks to other dumb ideas we've had on past shows. Hafu, for those who didn't get our last one, that stands for highly annoyed Force user. We're deciding that the orange lightsabers mean they're not full Sith, otherwise they'd be red. So
yeah.
that's just our little slang term for Balin Skull, and we're calling her Shin Hafu,
Yeah,
instead of Hati.
Shin Hafu, exactly. That's kind of handy that her last name starts with the HA. Mike Delatorre says, "I am not a fan of Purgle or the World Between Worlds either." All right, so I've got somebody on my side. Okay, yeah, but I think I mean, AJ, we've said many times on the show that we are not fans of the Rebels cartoon. But that being said, I like this so far. It had an interesting feel to start off with, and hopefully this isn't blaspheming, but the first few minutes of the first episode to me kind of had like a Star Trek feel. It kind of reminded me of some like Wrath of Khan or something like that. It was just, but I like it. It's a little bit different. The whole, the Empire is working for the New Republic and stuff like that, and there's still people loyal. That adds some intrigue to it, and I mean, Ahsoka's not a character I'm not like a huge fan. Like, it's I don't dislike Ahsoka. I just was never like, yeah, cool Ahsoka. So. But that being said, I think it's awesome that she's in live action. I know tons of people are loving it. I think Rosario Dawson's doing a great job. I think the Sabine character's cool. It's good to see Chopper. The one thing I will say, though, the actress who portrays Hera, I think plays her a little bit. She shows a little bit too much emotion, if that makes sense. Like Hera in Rebels was kind of like. She was very stoic and serious, and I think they're portraying her here as like a little bit more emotional, like more highs and lows. And I don't know how that's sitting with me yet. I don't know if I'm into that or not. It's kind of a departure, I think, but I don't know. I like it. I think it's cool so far. I've enjoyed it. The most recent episode, by the way, guys, there will be spoilers. The recent episode, obviously, you've got some episode 4 callbacks, which I thought, at first I was like, what is this? But then I was like, all right, that's pretty cool. So I like that. Hyang is cool, or Huyang, however you pronounce it. I'm probably butchering that, but so yeah, overall, I'm into it so far. It's not perfect, but I think it's cool. Where do you stand? What are your initial thoughts?
So I want to start by responding to a couple of things that you said. We got a commenter here with Jim in the chat here talking about Hera's portrayal. He says, "I'm giving Hera a chance, but struggling with the transition to live action also." I kind of feel you on that one, actually. So here's where my mind comes down. Like, we've already had in the chat earlier said, like, this is Rebels season 5. And that's kind of what we were expecting. Right. So you can't really be too upset when you get what you expect. Not a big shocker, but yeah, Mark Thrasher says he thinks the show is starting out good, has a Star Wars feel to it, and the music is nice. Yeah, that's a great point. If it does feel like Rebels. That's because largely in part to the music, which is actually done by Kevin Kiner, who wrote all the Star Wars animated music through the Clone Wars and Rebels and Bad Batch. And I'm guessing he probably did Resistance as well, but I'm not sure on that one. That's really a dark horse series as far as the Star Wars animated stuff goes. But
there is a little Resistance kind of Easter egg though in the 3rd episode.
There is. I'm glad you picked up on that. Yeah. But overall, yeah, like I struggled with the transition for some of these characters too. Like we got so used to Ashley Eckstein, for the non-Uber nerds out there, who, brought Ahsoka to life in animation first. And she has been the absolute ambassador of that character since day one. So to see Rosario Dawson step into the role, it's a bit jarring because the voice changes, obviously, and everything else. But I've grown to accept it, and I really like Rosario's portrayal. The other characters being, cast in live action and not being the same as the voice actors, like, it's Mary Elizabeth Winstead as Hera now, stepping in for Vanessa Marshall, I believe. Yeah, was the voice actress.
Yep.
The characterizations have changed a little bit in the translation, but I'm trying to just not. It's like trying to wrap my head around Donald Glover as Lando, right? Or Alden Ehrenreich. Like when you get a recast of any kind, it's a bit jarring. But if you just take that performance on its own, I like them. I think the characters are good so far. Even Sabine, I think, is doing a good job. And I say even Sabine because we've got a running gag, of course, of, all what can't she do, right?
Yeah. We'll get to that.
Lightsaber like a boss. So, I think the characterizations are good. If you're coming into it expecting a 1-for-1 translation from the cartoon, you might have a bit of a rough time with the transition. But I think the show, as presented so far, has been pretty good. And I can back that up because I actually watched the first 2 episodes with someone who isn't even through episodes 2 and 3 of the original George Lucas movies yet, let alone 7, 8, 9, any of the Mandalorian. So she's completely clean slate on all this stuff. And she was very entertained, and all the stuff that she had questions about were deliberately lingering questions in the show. It wasn't stuff that you were supposed to know and was poorly explained.
Yeah.
So she, her question was like, what's the relationship with Ahsoka and Sabine? Were they like master and apprentice? And I was like, I don't know. We don't know that yet. So the things that have been left unexplained are supposed to be unexplained for now, and they will be revealed in time.
Yeah.
So overall, I think the show, it looks really good. I think the music is awesome. The characters are good. Yep. I think we have a bit of a pacing issue right now, but we'll get into that as we chew through the events of the episodes so far.
Okay. A few comments in the chat. David O'Neill, good to see you, man. He says the Star Wars animated show that we do not speak its name. He's obviously referencing Resistance. Spencer, spot on. Kaz's dad is a jerk. Yes, that's true. Bryce Neihart, good to see you, man. Thanks for tuning in. In regards to Hera's portrayal in this, he says, I think Kanan dying and having Jason now has changed her, but she's still a badass. Okay, I could see that. The Paniac, good to see you, man. He says, you have to suspend your disbelief and just enjoy what's there. And John Galgano says, characters should change over time. It's been 10 years since, and I think his comment cut off there, but I agree with that, John. I just think it's a little jarring.
Nope, sorry. There we go.
Okay. He said, okay, it's been 10. He says characters should change over time, though. It's 10 years after Rebels. They shouldn't be the same as they were in that show. I agree with that. I'm a huge fan of The Last Jedi, and I love the Luke Skywalker stuff in there for that exact reason. I just think for me right now, it's a little jarring. You know what I mean? I can't say that I dislike it. I'm just like, that's not the Hera I remember. So, like I say, I'm just not Spencer. There it is. TLJ FTW. You know it, man.
And that's how we got on the virtual Cantina network.
Exactly. All right. So let's dig into something that we really have a problem with right here, because Kale brings it up in the chat. Someone want to tell me when the hell Sabine became force sensitive? I swear to God, I don't remember this development being a thing. Kale's comment. Yeah. unfortunately, AJ, one of the things that we talked about that we were afraid of happening when we did our predictions show a couple weeks ago, we were afraid that all of a sudden now Sabine's going to be a Jedi. Because I mean, what's the full list? You kind of knocked it down. What is it? She's been a ruler of Mandalore. She's been an Imperial. What's its nuts? Like, I mean, she's like 18 different things.
Yeah. It's like one for every year of her life, basically. She's what, like roughly Ezra's age, maybe a little bit older. So we'll call her we'll give her the benefit of the doubt and say in Rebels she was like 20, 21 maybe.
Okay. Yeah.
Even that's a little bit old because Ezra was only like 15. So
okay,
we'll give her the benefit of the doubt. We'll say 18 to 20. And let's see, she was in the Imperial Academy. She was a weapons engineer. She developed the weapon that basically cooks Beskar. Good job there. Can't imagine how you didn't realize that was going to backfire. She
nice.
was she a bounty hunter for a while? Or am I just assuming that because she's Mandalorian, which is, basically racist of me.
Nice.
She's an artist. She's a hell of a pilot. She can definitely she trained with the Darksaber, so she's got that under her belt too. You're right. She did rule Mandalore for a while. And apparently now she's also a starship mechanic. She can hotwire a starship on the fly. That's awesome.
True.
And she's, again, one hell of a pilot. She was doing better evading the fire from those ships in the third episode than even Ahsoka was doing. So what can't she do?
Yeah, I'm getting a little tired of that. It's like she's like, ugh, man.
Oh, and she found time in between series to train with Ahsoka as well.
Well, that's part of the Padawan thing. John Galgano says she was a bounty hunter for a short time. She was partnered with Ketsu Anyo.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I like this better. I like the idea that they're bunny hunters.
Yeah, that's right. She Sabine was hunting small woodland creatures. She needed a partner, Ketsu Anyo, just to get that damn rabbit. Come here, you son bitch. Yeah, Wascoey Wabbit. So it's got, man, now I got a picture of Sabine like holding a shotgun to a rabbit hole going, come out, you Wascoey Wabbit. Damn it. David O'Neill says.
Bud.
Sabine Fudd. Oh, we've got Shin Hafu and Sabine Fudd. Here we go. We got to start writing this down. David O'Neill says, "Yep." From the Google, nice speaking there. Sabine Wren and Ketsu Anyo became bounty hunters after leaving the Imperial Academy. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So what can't she do? I mean, it's almost like she doesn't have a flaw. You know what I mean?
It is funny because the big knock on Rey in the sequel trilogy was, she was branded as the Mary Sue because she just, picked it all up so easily, so quickly.
Yeah.
And yet, no, I haven't really heard a lot of outcry over the sheer number of things that Sabine is able to do.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, at some point she's going to have to fail at something and not just, she failed at using the Force. I mean,
I do like that. I do like that they're harping on the fact that she kind of sucks.
Yeah, but all that's doing is setting it up to where she's going to be awesome. Spencer, he says she leaves her cat unattended.
That's right. She's poor at animal husbandry.
Nice. And I have to admit, and this is the pet lover in me. AJ and I are huge animal lovers. I was like, what the hell's happened to that damn Loth cat while she's gone out,
Right.
gallivanting across the galaxy? Like, what the hell is that? David O'Neill. And now that's the next T-shirt on the VCNT public. Be very, very quiet. We are hunting Purgle. Nice. Yeah, I don't know. And the other thing about her with the Force is I hope they're not going this route, but it kind of seemed like they might be starting down this road of, well, potentially everybody can use the Force. And that to me is just, I don't like that idea. I'm not a fan of that. It's the Force is supposed to be something special. If you start introducing that sort of thing into it, I just think that it kind of takes away the luster of the Force. and I don't like that. I think that's a dangerous road to go down personally. So I don't know.
I did really like the explanations that Ahsoka was giving, though.
Okay.
Like all the stuff. Anytime you've heard Dave Filoni talk about his interpretation of the Force and what it means and how it's used, it's obviously very much in line with George Lucas's, because that's where he got it from.
Yeah.
And it was almost like Dave didn't even bother trying to like write for Ahsoka in the beginning of this third episode. Because when she's talking to Sabine and explaining all that about how, the Force is in all living things. And Sabine even asks, like, so everybody can use the Force. And Ahsoka's like, well, you got to have some talent for it. You really got to work on it. Like, it's not just like everybody's got the Force, so everybody can wield it. It's a bit more than that. So I think there's going to be a bit of a measured hand at this a little bit. But I did love, it was a very much like a Yoda or Obi-Wan to Luke kind of moment. This whole master to apprentice passing down the wisdom and the knowledge sort of thing. And I love to get Ahsoka's take on it, because she's got such a tumultuous history with the Jedi Order and their doctrine. To hear her explain her view of the Force and how it works is definitely interesting compared to all the others in her lineage that we've heard explain it already, from Qui-Gon to Obi-Wan and so on.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with that. Like I said, and that's the good thing is, like, there are some shortcomings to the show. Purgle. But I don't think there's anything that's like, I have to admit, I was kind of afraid there might be like something that would just completely take me out of it. Like there would just be some bomb they would drop that I'd be like, oh, this show sucks. And that's not the case. So I like that. So I mean, so far it's cool.
What do you think of the mysteries they're setting up so far?
I like it.
Like we've got the lure of an entirely new galaxy.
Yeah.
We thought they were going to the unknown. We never even considered another galaxy, right? Like on the predictions show, we're like, oh, they're in the unknown regions, maybe wild space. We don't know, but it's definitely something that we've heard of before. Not, new galaxy entirely. Like that's a big swing.
Yeah, to me, that's a multiverse type of an idea, and I'm not sure that I like it very much. I'll have to see it first, because it's not as bad as the multiverse idea in Marvel, where it's like somebody died. Like, no, there's like 8 billion other realities that are alive. Like, piss off. Ugh. Yeah, I mean, see, Spencer, I think Spencer says that can open new stories in another galaxy with no Skywalkers. Yeah, see, I'm also coming at it as someone who's having a really hard time getting into the High Republic. But then again, the High Republic has a goddamn rock as a sentient rock. So
hey, geode pulls, okay?
I'm gonna do a whole episode about that stupid ass idea. Who reads that and goes, yeah, that's a good idea. It's a goddamn rock with game. What the hell is that? How low on ideas are you? Are you serious? Like, God bless it.
We watch and love pro wrestling, dude. All right.
This is worse than pro wrestling. It's a rock. Okay? It's a giant effing rock. It's stupid. It's dumb. Come on.
I don't know. I watched people murder each other with cookie pans this weekend for sport, and I thought it was absolutely gold. So
okay, that's great, but
I'm not the biggest judge of highbrow entertainment.
That's more believable than a sentient rock, for God's sakes. I mean, come on.
Mike De La Toro nailed it.
Mike De La Toro, you are wrong. You are wrong, Mike De La Toro. You are wrong. look at Kale McLeish. Can you smell what the geode is cooking? Yeah, I don't know. Back to the point, like Nadia Simone, thanks for tuning in. She goes, JT, you need a Snickers bar. LOL. I get very animated about the things I'm not a fan of. I apologize. I'm a slave to my passions, I suppose. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it can open up more stories, and I've said many times on the show before that even if there's a Star Wars story I don't like, I'm glad that it's there because it has the potential to open up other things I might like or that somebody else might like. Expanding the universe is a good thing. Spencer, we will not have any Browns hate on this show. You better cut that out. I'm not even bringing that comment up on the screen.
Nope.
But yeah, even if I don't like the new Galaxy thing, it could grow on me, and there's a ton of Star Wars fans that would love it. So that's cool. I think it's interesting. Obviously, I think that brings the whole Chiss thing into play, and obviously, in the new Zahn trilogy, like the Chiss are kind of more pronounced and stuff. So that's cool. Like, a lot more Thrawn stuff, which is good. So yeah, I mean, I don't know how I'll feel about it. I'll have to see it first, but right now it makes me nervous. But it could be awesome. So, I'm just, me, dude. I'm closed-minded and stuff, and it's unfortunately.
I like it because if they were just elsewhere in the known galaxy, then you'd assume that by some point they would have been found by now. So
Yeah.
I like this explanation of like they went so far the hell away that no one can get to them.
Yeah.
Except the Purgle.
Oh, stop with those effing things. Oh my God. Oh man. I it's a good thing we weren't on the network when I did my rant a few months ago, because that was pretty off color.
Even our cousin has texted me asking what the hell your vendetta is against them. Like, oh my God. I really think you're wrong, dude. Of all of the worst hated things in Star Wars, how they top your list, I don't get it.
Because they're making it a big deal, and it's just a terrible idea. I mean, hyperspace, for the history of Star Wars as we've known it, literally they talk about it in Episode 4. You have to plot a course. You've got to make plans. It's this big, this big deal, and now all of a sudden a whale can do it. Like, what the hell is that?
Yeah, they do it instinctively. It's instinctual to them.
Stop it! It's not instinctual.
I think it makes perfect sense.
Ugh. No, it doesn't make sense. And you're being a contrarian right now, because I know you think they're stupid too.
No, to pull back the curtain for everybody listening and watching right now, we had this conversation last night, and we were cracking up because a couple weeks ago we did a show about Kenobi, and I had so much negativity to spew at that show because I thought that was mid. It was just average, and average is not good for all the hype that show had.
All right, you know what? This is what AJ gets. All right, and don't even try putting yourself back in, because I'm tired of hearing you rip on Kenobi, and I'm tired of hearing you support Purgle. Now get back on topic and start hating Purgles, and start getting on board with Kenobi because it's awesome. Now, are you ready to behave yourself?
So the irony is tonight, I'm ready to get the back of Ahsoka's show, and he's the one hating on it. So clearly, we do not rehearse this in advance. I'm not always the Debbie Downer, and he's not always the apologist. Because in this case, I think he's got it wrong, and he's coming on way too hard on the Purgle, especially when there's a certain lightsaber wound that we need to talk about first.
Yes, let's go to that. When did it become... Oh, Nadia, look at that. All right. So Thrasher is now on his daughter's account. He says, Kenobi was awesome. You're damn right it was awesome. But like I said, when we revisited it, you got to binge it, I think, to really get it. If you watch it as like one big 5-hour movie, it really kind of, it really kind of, that's how you get it, I think. So,
Spencer, for the old people, mid means like middling, middle grade, average, boring.
I didn't know that either. Yeah. So when did it become acceptable that getting gored with a lightsaber basically means nothing?
Yeah, I've seen so many Qui-Gon memes making the rounds because, it was enough to take out a full-blown Jedi Master who was good enough to be on the Council in Episode 1, and then by the time of, I don't know, maybe lightsabers got weaker, like in the intervening years or something. Because it didn't do in the Grand Inquisitor, didn't do in Reva.
Bryce is gonna get
Sabine handled it the best. This is the thing. That we think Beskar is the best armor in the known universe. No, plot armor is the best armor in the known universe.
Plot armor, nice. Oh my God. Well, see,
my camera's revolting now. Hold on a second. There we go. Focus.
You said
Focus.
it. You said it. It stinks on ice.
There we go.
How's that for an old school reference? Mel Brooks' History of the World. There you go. The people are revolting. You said it. They stink on ice.
We're going to play a game. Every time we do a movie quote for the rest of the show, we're not going to say what it's from. We're going to wait for the chat to chime in and say what.
Yeah, right. Bryce Nyhart, he's well on his way to getting himself banned from the chat. By the way, guys, banned from the chat is a joke. We've never banned anybody. It's just a joke when we joke with people. So Bryce Nyhart says, I want to have a Purgle Appreciation Day just for JT. Nice. Yeah, we were talking about this at work, and we're thinking, okay, maybe the lightsaber, like, now apparently it's like medically accurate, like it cauterizes the wound. So when it goes in there, basically just cauterizes and leaves a hole. But then we're like, all right, well, why don't you have like a hole there? Like in the beginning of Kung Pao when he like punches the guy's stomach out. I mean, it's like one clean chunk. Have like an actual hole you can see through.
Right.
So it's... See,
and thank God she doesn't keep any organs there.
the Inquisitor, what's her name? Oh God,
Reva,
thank you. Now we've got Sabine, and like you said, there's that Qui-Gon Jinn meme going around where he's like, "Son of a bitch!" Like, so that's pretty good.
As the people's strength in the Force decreases, their resistance to a lightsaber wound increases. It's bizarre. Like, all Sabine had to do was like sleep it off for a night, and she's good to go. Like, I at least thought, like, as they were doing like the training thing in the third episode, when she got knocked down, she would like at least sell the wound a little bit, like indicate that she's still recovering, at least in the slightest, just in the slightest. Remind us that you got stabbed through with a lightsaber, but no.
See, Thrasher's trying to defend it. The wound was lower left, right? Totally survivable. All right, good buddy Chris Mock. Good to see you, man. He says, I will watch your show after I finish my baseball game. He's watching the Rays, probably. Mimar, she says, good to see you, by the way, Mimar. Says, so you'd like her to have a bitchin' scar? Well, she does have a bitchin' scar. I mean, they showed that.
Scars are awesome. Anakin's got one. Kylo Ren's got them. Snoke's is gory as hell, but, it's across his whole face, whatever.
Yeah. Dude, Kylo Ren's moves.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got a moving scar. That's the coolest one you can have. David O'Neill says, now she has a mechanical stomach like Fennec Shand.
See, they could have at least done that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Yeah. So apparently you can also get gut shot and just be replaced with robot parts. So
yeah. I think that's the problem, is that now anytime we see somebody get run through with a lightsaber, we're like, all right, they're not dead. Yeah, he says he's not dead.
Yeah, these wounds, these mortal wounds, really have to start having some stakes. I mean, Darth Maul came back from being cut in half. I'm cut in half pretty bad.
This is the worst case of being cut in half I've ever seen. Oh my God!
Again, that's up to the chat to name where that came from. Yeah, so these things that should definitely kill people, and we should have some. At this point, I'm not convinced Maul's even dead after Rebels. I mean, we never saw the saber even go in that case. So,
yeah, that's true. See, Spencer got it. Walk hard, very good. Brad Williams, he says her scar looks like a cigarette lighter burn. It does. It totally does. Oh my gosh! And we got everybody quoting Monty Python in the chat now. This is beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. All right. Joseph Wren, good to see you, man. He says, in the words of JT, it's Star Wars. It doesn't have to be medically real, you bastard.
Yeah, so, I mean, it is true. I mean, look what happened to Anakin when he became Vader. He survived that. Darth Maul got cut in half. Leia got ejected into space. There's not a whole lot that can kill somebody in Star Wars these days.
Yeah. I think for me, it's just because we saw it kill Qui-Gon. And you're like,
and it was very specifically like very much the same move, same place, right? I mean, I knew immediately that she was going to survive because we hadn't even seen all the footage from the trailer yet, so we knew that she was going to make it through.
How awesome! Right? How awesome would it be if they did kill her? Like, everyone's all excited to see Sabine, but she croaks like an episode and a half into the series, and all the other crap in the trailer was just like flashbacks. Wouldn't that have been that would have been the greatest like left turn ever?
Oh my God, that would have trolled the hell out of. We always talk about how like there's always a a BuzzFeed article or something about how Kathleen Kennedy is going to be like ousted from her contract. That would have done it. That would have sunk Star Wars. That would have done it.
No way. I'd have loved it. I'd be like, this is like the ending of The Mist. It's like one of the greatest things ever. Like she gets run through and the episode ends, and then the next episode starts and there's Ahsoka standing over her grave, and everybody just loses their mind. Oh, it's like Obi-Wan in A New Hope. Like it was all of a sudden like a thousand voices cried out in sheer terror. Like, right? You could hear everybody. What is that? Oh my God. That would have been amazing. So it really is the Ahsoka show. That's how they're going to make it. Not the Ahsoka and Sabine show. They're going to kill Sabine Wren.
That is totally like, it's not often that the trailers reveal anything that matters. As we said, it's usually like everything's in the first episode, maybe the second. The fact that's the one thing that ruined it. Like we watched Sabine get gored at the end of the first episode. We're like, now if I hadn't seen a whole bunch of scenes of her in the trailer that didn't happen yet, I might have been drawn in as, oh my God, what's going to happen?
Yeah.
But way to spoil it.
Right. Oh, Buddy Weaver, what's up, man? Good to see you. Says, just tuned in. What's up, guys? We are well. Good to see you, man. Thanks for checking out the show. Appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. We've seen people survive worse, probably. I think it's just, again, I just think it's weird now seeing that, because you're like, okay, this was pretty much, it was, you die, you get gored, you die. And, sorry, had to burp there, so I muted the mic so as not to be gross. I do have some kind of manners. And it's, now it's like it's going to survive. But what did somebody say? Oh, yeah, my coworker was like, see, here's how it works. Like when you get run through, you don't die. But if you get slashed, like if your shoulder catches just like a little bit of a nick, then you die.
Yeah.
So apparently that's the mechanics and the physics of a lightsaber.
And that's the other thing. We've seen so many people get run through with the lightsaber. Just pull upward. This whole pokey poke, that doesn't do anything. It's been proven. That's not lethal. But if you start filleting pieces off of somebody, they're gone. They're goners. That's it.
Wouldn't that be awesome? It's you finally get someone so evil they gore them, and you get that shot of them going, and then all of a sudden they start going, like ripping upwards, and it just becomes a horror movie, like Terrifier or something, like where it's just like or what is that? The Running Man. Where he kills Buzzsaw, and he just like does the chainsaw up through his crotch, and it cuts him in half, and you see him like the blood flying in his face. How great would that be? Just have like the most violent Star Wars death ever. And people are like, "Oh God, what? Whoa, what is?" Or
at least do it like the Urukai. Do it like the Urukai. If you're gonna run him through, like get him stuck halfway and have him like pull his own way forward to like complete the impalement. Just make it like the most badass thing ever.
Yep, Spencer, I love it. It's part of me. Now I'm going to make it a part of you. Yep. Mimar says, literally cut them in half. Yeah. See, that's what we.
Unless
that's
you're
what
Darth Maul.
That's what we need. We need like rated R Star Wars. Like just like
people
the
keep
worst.
wanting that. Like that was the promise of the Force Unleashed, wasn't it? Was like we're going to have all kinds of ragdoll physics and dismemberment of stormtroopers and stuff. We finally got that in Jedi Survivor.
Yeah, we did, which is awesome. I'm still loving what's the new one? Fallen Order is the first one. Survivor's this one. Yeah, I'm loving it, man. I'm loving it. Mm-hmm. Spencer says it's called Andor. Nah, I mean kind of, Spencer, but I'm talking about like some like Freddy Krueger stuff. Let's just have people getting hacked to bits, like dismemberments and all that. Like, it would be great.
Make it completely unsuitable for children. Yes.
Oh yeah. Okay, so good things about the show. So this whole I kind of like the idea of the Eye of Sion. The whole it's a hyperspace thing that goes to another galaxy. That's interesting. We haven't seen that before. I thought that was pretty cool. I'm enjoying that. It'll be.
Why do you think it's so damn big? Is it just because they need it to be that big to travel that distance, or do you think they're needing to bring back something gigantic?
Oh, it's. I mean, I think it's obvious. They have to bring back something gigantic. I mean, they're not going to make it like, okay, we can fit 3 X-wings in here. They're not going to do that. So, and
they're trying to get one guy.
Well, yeah, but I mean, he was like removed in a Star Destroyer. So they got to do something. They got to bring that back. So, I mean, and for all we know, it could be, maybe this will tie into, the whole Exegol thing or something. And there's like the fleet out there. I don't know. But I mean, it makes sense to me that it's large. I mean, think about it. If they made it small, then they paint themselves into a corner. So better to make it like ungodly huge. That way you can fit whatever the heck you want in there. That's what she said. And like, yeah. So they're trying. Mike Delatorre says they're trying to get Thrawn and the Chimera. Yeah.
For the uninitiated, the Chimera is his personal Star Destroyer, by the way.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And plus, like they could just steal a hyperspace ring if it was something from like an old Jedi starfighter, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But to require like massive hyperdrives, like they stole one from a super Star Destroyer in the scrapyard.
Yeah.
Like that takes time and it draws attention. So that's good for the plot. They could just run off with, one hyperspace ring and be like, oh, where'd that go? Oh, whatever.
Yeah. They lost. We lost something.
Yeah.
John Galgano says, good point here. He says, Huyang says something that size could make an incredible jump. So size definitely relates to the distance you can jump. Yeah. So there we go. And another thing, Spencer, I was going to mention, he brings it up, says, how cool was it going back to Corellia? Mm-hmm. Yeah, we need more Corellia in Star Wars. We really do. Because that's just a cool, unexplored planet, and it hits me in the feels because I'm such a huge Han Solo honk.
Mm-hmm. And I love that it's looking cleaner too. That and Lothal, they're really driving home this point that like the Empire just trashes everything.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, and Lothcats. I thought it was going to be stupid seeing them in live action. I thought they were cute. I like the Lothcats.
I'll go for Lothcats. Yeah.
So I thought it was cool. Sabine having a
pet
was
Didn't
cool.
we already get Lothcats in Mandalorian though?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Judges, Bill Gravy, mud, a duck. A lot of Monty Python on the show tonight. Yeah, but I guess I didn't really pay a lot of attention. I was just like, okay, whatever. But now that it was kind of like more pronounced, I will say, I thought it was cool. I really thought it would. See, that's another thing. Like, I thought some of the stuff that was obviously animated, like a Lothcat or the mural, I thought it would look weird, but it doesn't to me. I'm like, okay, it actually fits. That's cool looking. So I was mm-hmm. pleased. I was pleased by that.
Yeah, I think a lot of the animated stuff actually translates very well to live action, which I was curious about. Even some of the sets that look a little bit plain, like Sabine's hospital room, for example.
Yeah.
Like Rebels had a kind of like a simplistic style for a lot of its stuff too, which a lot of it was budgetary. Animating that stuff and drawing up those CGI models is not cheap or time efficient. But it makes sense that they didn't like overdo the detail for the live action version because it's still supposed to be the same place.
Yeah.
So I kind of bought into that a little bit. I'm okay with like a little bit of that animated style coming in because I think that helps bridge that transition to live action.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with that. Like I say, I think it works well. Like and people are mentioning in the chat, the show looks great. I mean, it really does.
David O'Neill, with regards to your comment about there's a line, Lothcat okay, and Purgle over the top, watch that Lothcat go to hyperspace and then see how John feels about it.
Exactly. Can
we get that on a t-shirt now since we got VCN folks in here who are much better at the artwork than I am? Can we get a hyperspace Lothcat, please?
If any other animals go into hyperspace, I'm gonna lose it. I'm just gonna lose it. Oh, I'm just gonna lose it. It's so terrible. Oh. David O'Neill, don't give Lucasfilm ideas.
Not for free, at least.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we've already given him probably about a good 37 things, David, and
Yeah, we did the orange lightsaber first. We coined the term Hafu.
Yep, Hafu, the orange lightsaber. We're full of good ideas. We could write for Star Wars if they would let us. Weaver, he says, all I have to say is they better not fumble Thrawn. I am starting to think that we're not going to see Thrawn until I think I could easily see it going the route of Luke Skywalker in The Force Awakens.
Yeah, let's talk about the pacing here, shall we? Because we're 3
Sure.
episodes into an 8-episode season.
Is it
And
8 or
we
10?
I thought it was 8.
Someone
Originally, I
told
thought
me
it was 10, but then I had to look it up, and I believe the episode run is 8. And I'm sure we
Okay.
got enough smart folks in the chat that'll correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
So we know that we're not getting to that new galaxy until at least the 4th episode of 8. And that doesn't necessarily mean that we're instantly going to be finding
Mike.
Thrawn and or Ezra immediately. So we're going to go half of this season without even getting to the place where we're going to start looking for them. How do you feel about that? I predicted that was going to be handled very quickly, and then we were going to be dealing with the aftermath of finding them. So I was way wrong on my prediction.
Well, Spencer's predicting. He says Ezra is dead. Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
That joke doesn't play out well in audio, but that's okay. That's why you should tune into the live stream.
Well, that's okay. Our audio viewers will, at least get something out of this.
Yeah.
That's the best term. Our audio viewers. I love it. Anyway, yeah. I don't know that I'll mind that much. I because I'm kind of glad they didn't just bring him out right away. The slow burn is kind of cool.
Mhm.
I think it allows them to establish the Hafu, Shin and Baron. Did I get that right? Baron's Balin, sorry. I'm so bad with these names, man. I swear to God.
Well,
how the hell do we
they've
have a show?
barely been in the show.
Well, but
They're kind of like the White Walkers in Game of Thrones. They pop in right at the beginning, and then you're like, and they show up when?
Nice. Yeah, I like that they're able to establish those characters a little bit, because having Thrawn in there immediately would just kind of derail all of that development. So I think we know what we're going to get from Thrawn because, as you mentioned, the voice actor, he's actually doing the live action Thrawn, so that's cool.
Mhm.
So we know it's going to look and feel like Thrawn. So to get these new characters kind of up and running, I think was a smart idea. And honestly, like I say, I wouldn't be surprised if they don't have the Thrawn reveal till the last episode or something, because I think Ahsoka is such a popular character that, we knew there were going to be multiple seasons, so they can, kind of have like this season be like the search and the hunt and all that kind of stuff, and then worry about, Thrawn as like the main foil going forward in future seasons. So whenever they bring him out, I don't really have a preference. It's not going to bother me either way. We've already got, like I said, it's going to be at least halfway through the season, so at least they didn't, kind of like just throw him out there immediately. And I'm glad they didn't do that. So however they handle it going forward right now for me I'm fine with it. What about you?
I agree with your point. I think we've got enough as far as compelling new villains to worry about that. The hunt for Thrawn is enough for me. I don't need to see him yet. I am curious to know like what the TV plan is moving forward. We've got Mike Delatorre in the chat here talking about this show being the preview for Filoni's movie. And yeah, we know it's building towards that. The question is when, and what else will we get in the meantime before that movie? But definitely, I think it's safe to say, at least I hope so, that with the way this season is playing out, there's probably going to be a second season of this show.
There has to be, just based on the popularity of the Ahsoka character alone.
Yeah, but they don't promise anything in advance, so we can't take it for granted.
True.
Or like Geode, we can't take it for granted. So,
oh God,
yeah, I got dad jokes.
Seriously, that's what you're gonna do? Do you have any more of those rock puns on the slate? Oh God.
No more gems like that. No.
Oh my God.
Anyway, back on topic. No, like
Stay on target.
We haven't even talked about Merrick yet.
Yes.
The guy wearing the old Inquisitor garb. That doesn't necessarily mean he's an Inquisitor, but he's definitely using all the gear.
Yeah.
Now, my theory is that his true identity is something of importance because
Yeah.
he's all covered head to toe. The presence of an Inquisitor makes no sense in this timeline, and his voice is also disguised. So they're like doing everything they can to ensure that we do not know who he really is. Do you think we're going to find out?
We could. Spencer and Mike Delatorre in the chat. By the way, if it's Delatorre, let me know, Mike. I don't want to butcher your name. Spencer and Mike both think that it's Starkiller.
Ah, okay. Yeah, so Mike's asking about Starkiller. Starkiller is the now non-canon apprentice of Vader from the Force Unleashed games. So before Ahsoka came along and was a thing, there was a supposedly canon video game and a sequel that introduced, I forget what this first name was, but Starkiller was his last name, and he was Vader's apprentice.
His first name was Frank.
Frank Starkiller, that's right. Forgot about that.
Why are we so stupid? What do we have in the last one? Joe somebody and and Fred, like Joe, Fred, Frank. Oh my gosh.
All right, Starkiller was like his nickname. It was Galen Merrick was his name, yeah.
No. That's actually not correct, guys. It was Frank Starkiller. You can look that up. We made that canon as well. Yeah. So it's Frank Starkiller.
So maybe that is the nod, though. The whole Merrick to Merrock. Wait a minute.
Ooh, good call.
ROK, that's very close to ROCK. Is this Geode? This could be Geode.
See, that's going to be my luck. They're going to bring that effing rock into this thing, and they're going to have Geode riding a Purgle into the world between worlds.
I need this now.
And then in the world between worlds, they're going to go back in the past, and they're going to watch the Maul Obi-Wan fight from Rebels. And then Carrie Poppins is going to go floating through the sky as it's all going down.
I love it. I love it. This is like when every band I hate shows up on the same bill. I like it because then I can avoid one concert and miss them all. So they can throw all that in one episode. I'm just like, peace. I'll tune in next week, guys.
See ya. All right. Yeah. Wow. Where were we? I got myself saying. Oh, Frank Starkiller. Yeah. Galen Merrick. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, and good call, Merrick, like being close to Merrock. That's good. I think that'd be cool. I like that idea, Spencer and Mike. I do. I think that'd be pretty cool. I've long thought that Starkiller is popular enough that that's a character they could bring into the live action, and with Sam Witwer being a live action actor and obviously able to, emote that character perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he'd be great. That would be one if they recast him. I think that one would actually piss me off. I'd be like, seriously, like is this necessary? Like, just get Sam Witwer. Like, what are you doing?
And that's what we were saying before. Is like a lot of the recasting happened because the people that were doing the voice acting are not suited to do live action interpretation. Like they're either career voice actors only, or they just don't embody the character somehow.
Yeah.
But Sam Witwer is definitely all the things. I mean, they mocapped him and put his likeness in the game. Like,
yeah,
you don't get better than that. It's like if Cal Kestis pops up and they don't get Moynihan, whatever.
Cam, yeah.
Did I even get the last name right? I don't know.
Cam Monahan.
Monahan. I said Moynihan. Sorry.
That's all right.
Close enough.
Boff, puke, whatever.
Yeah. So, like Cal Kestis shows up. You got to get Bobby McDougal. Let's just get him all wrong. Why not? We're not the smart show on this network anyway. But yeah, like I think Merrick is my big question mark, and I really want to know what the deal is with the Hafu. I want to know more about Balin and Shin.
Well, we were right on one aspect in that we posited that they were previously members of the Jedi Order. They were Padawans, because Huyang talks about their lightsabers and whatnot. So we got that one right. So that was good. One of our predictions was accurate. So now it's just a question of, okay, why are they all of a sudden going to the dark side? Which I think that also answers the whole orange lightsaber thing, because it's getting towards red. So you know.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's Spencer, nice. Yeah, so Mike Delatorre and John Galgano and Kale both say the same thing. That I noticed this too. Shin still has her Padawan braid. Yeah,
It's funny for someone who, Balin first says like, we're not Jedi, but then the apprentice has a Padawan braid. It's very much a pick and choose kind of thing, it seems.
Maybe they failed, and he's just being real technical. We are not
They're the
Jedi.
washouts. Yeah.
But you look like Jedi. Yeah, I failed. I flunked out. I was too busy
How'd you survive
doing
Order
spice.
66? Well, see, I didn't pass the test, so I wasn't on the hit list.
Yeah. I failed about a week before. Lucky me, huh? How about them apples?
Yeah, I was only like 9/10 a Jedi, something like that. I was more like Order 60.6.
Like, I forget that guy. He sucks. He's not going to be anything.
Yeah, he's no threat.
Oh, my God. That's awesome. John Galgano, good point. He says, Shin is too young to have ever been part of the Order. Spencer. Yeah, I was Order 67. See, John, I'm glad you brought that up because I'm starting to get lost in all these timelines. Like, I almost have to write them down.
Mm-hmm.
Because just to make sure I know where they intersect and whatnot. So
they're using very old stuff too. I noticed those ships that they were attacking Ahsoka's shuttle with. I mean, Ahsoka's shuttle alone is a Jedi shuttle from the Clone Wars era, but those ships were definitely very like General Grievous inspired, which was cool to see.
That thing that Shin was flying was like the frickin' like a Sanford and Son. That thing came on the screen and I was like,
right? It's like Mater in space.
Mater in space.
I just wanted to have like Larry the Cable Guy doing the engine noises like a cappella.
Nice. Oh my God. Oh, that's awesome. And the lasers were even kind of sucky. It was almost like literally like a pew 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 pew. Like, what is that?
I don't know. I thought the sound design was pretty good.
No, I didn't like the lasers on those things, man. I guess it fits, because the thing's a hunk of crap. Like, I mean, what? It really was. It looked like a jalopy to me. I'm like, what is this thing? Like,
maybe that's part of like a story hint. I mean, Balin Skull knew Anakin, so he was part of the Order when Anakin was in the Order. He's got a Padawan, so he's got Jedi history from the Clone Wars, and they're using like Clone Wars era stuff. So maybe they kind of like ran off with a whole bunch of equipment, and they're still using it now.
Okay,
it's like Cuba. Cuba's still driving her old cars.
Here's a hell of a reference.
Right?
Wow, man, oh man. Yeah, that whole scene, by the way, was pretty cool. I like the space battle. I think there was a little too much of, things being missed. Like, that's the one thing that Filoni he did it in Rebels, and he's doing it in this show where someone will be like point blank range and they don't hit anything. Like, what is going on? I mean,
when Ahsoka was out on the wing trying to deflect blaster bolts, and she couldn't because there weren't any close enough for her to reach with her lightsaber. I saw that. She's like standing there, and there's like just bolts flying all around. Like, can you hit anything? Like,
yeah.
You have targeting sensors at all.
maybe they have the asshole family from Spaceballs,
right?
I did, sir. He's my cousin.
Yeah.
I said across her nose, not up it.
That's what Merrick's helmet's hiding. He's
the googly eyes from Rebels. Remember that? Googly eyes on the damn helmet. Oh my God, that is just. They pull his helmet off and he's like all kind of wall-eyed and stuff. Like, what the hell's with this guy? Oh my gosh. Oh, why is it our first show on the network and we're like dumber than ever? What are we doing, man? Holy, whoo, jeez. Yeah,
lots of notes in the chat about how there's a lot of Clone Wars era callbacks. You know, the headpiece that she was wearing was definitely the headset that showed up in episode 2 and 3.
Yeah.
You know, John Galgano says, you know, holding on to some Jedi traditions is an interesting contradiction for the character, which I think is very true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think that it could almost be like a Count Dooku sort of situation where he's a Jedi who became disillusioned with the Order, so splintered off? Now, in Dooku's case, he fell to the dark side and fell under the sway of Palpatine. But, you know, there were 21 Jedi who just quit. What do they call them? Like the Fallen or something like that?
The Hafu.
Yeah.
They call him the Hafu.
But yeah, I think it's now canon. There's like 21 Jedi who just straight up like walked away from the Order. They're just like, you know what? Nah, I don't agree.
I didn't know there were that many. That's pretty cool.
I think it was in one of those audio dramas that they put on Audible.
Okay.
You can get it for free if you go to audibletrial.com/NHC.
For your 30-day trial and a free audiobook download.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Delatorre, this is an interesting point here. Some EU stuff. He says, "It's Joruus C'baoth, correct?
C'baoth, yeah.
Yeah, Joruus C'baoth." He said Joruus C'baoth also knew Anakin, and he says, "I'm hoping Balin is a Joruus reimagined." That would be kind of cool. I think that'd be cool.
I feel like we're going to get a lot of that original Thrawn trilogy canonized somehow in this.
Oh yeah, I mean, are we going to get Islamari? Are we going to get those?
I think it'd be cool.
I mean,
look.
Yeah.
I rolled my eyes when they introduced the Darksaber back in the Clone Wars. I was like, oh, lightsaber, we got a Darksaber now? That didn't make any sense. It's stupid. So this whole idea of like a creature that can create a force bubble to create a void of force, I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I like it. I would check that out. Spencer, yeah. When are they going to do this? He says we need Mara Jade. I mean, why are they holding out on that? They are just not going to, you know, they are not going to do Mara Jade anytime soon. It looks like.
I mean, so much of her character is wrapped up with Luke's story that has now been told in a way that played out entirely different from Legends. So I'm not sure how much would be left of Mara Jade without retconning a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah, that's true. I'm just surprised they didn't, you know, I'm surprised they didn't bring her in already. That was like, I mean, she might as well have been already in canon Star Wars. I mean, that her and, you know, Mara Jade and Thrawn were the two that people were just screaming for, and obviously they brought in Thrawn. I'm so surprised they didn't bring in Mara Jade. That's just crazy to me. I mean, they got Jason Syndulla, who's like, you know, they got the Jason thing going on in this show. So, you know, there's another.
He was cool to
callback.
see.
Yeah,
and he did have the green hair actually. So
yeah,
we were thrown off. We thought he had brown hair from the trailer, but no, it's green.
Yeah, maybe they colored it. Yeah, Spencer. So we got Rook in Rebels. Yep, I was kind of bummed that he got killed off. I thought he would be an awesome live action character. Since they're bringing in Thrawn, I wish they would have kept Rook around, but we didn't see him die, so they just kind of inferred like it was really gross and something happened. So maybe Marok or whatever, maybe it's actually Rook.
There you go.
Maybe.
I like that.
That could be too. You know.
Oh, here's the correction. The brown hair for Jason was in the Lego set. A strange time when Lego got it wrong. Although usually when Lego gets it wrong, it's because they get outdated concept art to work from. They're stupid detailed. Like people try to catch Lego in mistakes all the time with their stuff, and then they correct them. Like they put out the Walker, the AT-ST from Empire Strikes Back, and people are like, it doesn't look right. It doesn't look right at all. Like you can't even open the eye flaps on the pod. I'm like, yeah, if you look at the model from Empire Strikes Back, it didn't open. They were shut. They didn't open until Return of the Jedi's version, which was modified. Yeah. So like all these things people were bitching about the toy. Like, no, the toy is actually more accurate than your recollection is. Sorry.
Nice.
So I'll bet you Jason had brown hair, and then they changed it later after they already, told Lego what was up.
Probably. Like I say, I mean, maybe they just did that for the trailer or something. Was he in the trailer? I don't remember. Maybe they just made it brown to throw people off the scent of who it really was.
Right.
That was like them messing with it. So,
strangely, from all the things we've seen from the trailer that have not appeared, I didn't think I'd be so excited to see the ghost, but I'm really stoked to see that come in.
Yeah. Well, the ghost was in the hangar in the one scene. If you pause it, you can see it there. I saw screen caps.
Oh,
of
I
that.
missed it.
So,
okay.
All right, Mike says there was no Jason in the trailer. Okay. Well, then where the hell did the brown hair come from, Lego? Explain yourselves. You got it wrong, damn you. Speaking of Lego, off topic, I still need to get that Endor set. It's got a biker scout and a speeder bike in there, for God's sakes. I've got to have that.
Oh yeah.
All right, well, we've gone on for quite a bit, so let's give our final thoughts here. And I mean, overall, are you pleased with the show so far and where it appears to be going, or are you left?
I am
wanting
really pleased.
Something?
Yeah, like we were so opposite last night when we were talking on the phone after you finished watching the show and waking your wife up. And that's true. That's true, guys. He actually woke his wife up by yelling too much about the Purgle.
She was so pissed. She was so pissed.
I called it too. I was like, she's going to be so pissed at you for this. You need to stop this right now. But anyway, I like it so far because I like the mystery of who these new characters are. And I think as much as I'm not a fan of Rebels like you are, they're taking the characters from the show in interesting new directions. So I feel better about it, honestly, especially sadly, because I don't think we're going to see Ezra very much, if at all. So the parts that I was least looking forward to from Rebels don't seem to be that big of a factor in this. So I'm good with it so far. And I think Rosario's doing an amazing job as Ahsoka. It's a different take on the character, but it's not a bad one.
I kind of feel like Rosario Dawson's portrayal of Ahsoka is what we should have gotten for Hera. You know what I mean? Like, I almost feel like she's be better as Hera. Yeah, like that. I just picture Hera being more like Ahsoka is in this. So,
Oh, Sean Hines.
What's up, buddy? What's up? Hey, Sean. Mr. Hanky, nice. Sean, in case you didn't know, Dial of Destiny was released yesterday on digital platforms for purchase. So, now we can actually watch the glory that is Indiana Jones. We'll have to do a watch along on here, man. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I was thinking Sean Faust. Sean Hines, I got it wrong. What am I doing? What's up, Vandalorian? How are you, man? We can do a watch along of Indiana Jones too. So, man, oh man, I'm getting actual people's names confused. The hell am I doing?
Yeah. Mike, I think our issue with Hera's portrayal is not that she's not being motherly. It's that she never really flew off the handle like she did in the scene with Mon Mothma this time.
Yeah.
She was, in fact, she even, it was very true to character when she hit up Ahsoka and she's like, I'm not coming and neither is anybody else. Like, she's the one to deliver the bad news and toe the company line when it comes to Rebel, or in this case, New Republic politics.
Yeah.
But for her to get too emotional and wreck her own case as a result, that doesn't sound like something Hera would usually do.
Yeah. No, I agree. But John Galgano said it earlier. He says, characters change over time. So I guess we chalk it up to that, her becoming a mother and stuff like that. So,
by the way, as a wrestling fan, John, do I have permission to just call you Johnny Gargano?
There we go, man. Spencer, can we
love
watch
doing DIY? Get back together with Tommaso Ciampa. You guys need it.
Wow. There's some references. Spencer Jowitz, can we watch Pick of Destiny? That would require me to actually enjoy that movie. I find Tenacious D to be one of the least humorous things on the planet. I apologize. Jack Black was hilarious as the loser brother in Orange County, and he's pretty funny in School of Rock, and everything else he just tries way too hard. So I'm just not a big Jack Black guy. But it does, Pick of Destiny does have Dio in it, which is pretty cool. All right, so basically my overview pretty much, I would agree with you. My dislike of the Rebels show has not tainted my enjoyment of this particular show. I do think that this has, I think Dave Filoni, like the stuff that he like runs solely, I think his stuff works better when he's paired with somebody else, like the Favreau thing, because he's got all the lore and everything. But I think almost like George Lucas in the prequels, like he needs someone to check him. Like George didn't have anybody to check him, you know.
I can see that
with the prequels, and with Rebels and now Ahsoka. I think there's some things where I'm like, dude, come on, like let's not do that. So I guess that would be my only beef is that some when he's left to his own devices, it can be a little goofy at times. But I like it. I like it a lot. I'm interested to see where it goes. Like I say, I had no problem with the characters of Rebels. I just didn't like the show itself. So I think it's cool to see these characters in live action. As we discussed earlier, I think they're doing, they're doing a killer job of that. So it's cool, man. I'm still hoping we get some Zeb in there, because that was my favorite Rebels character. So that'd be cool to get him. But I mean, overall, I'm excited for where this is going. It's like I say, I'm enjoying the slow burn of, okay, well, we're, kind of like, it's like a, they're figuring out a mystery. It's almost that Attack of the Clones ish type of a storyline. Like, they're sorting out a mystery of some kind. So I really like that. And I think it's cool.
And I think they're doing a good job of making this feel like it's definitely a Mandoverse show, but it's got those Force elements that were deliberately absent from the Mandalorian for so long.
Yeah.
So if you like that style of storytelling, that modern Disney Plus style of Star Wars, but you missed the Force and the Jedi sort of influences, I think this is the perfect show for that.
Yeah, definitely. And I think what's really cool is that I can't imagine that there's any fans of Rebels that are watching this show right now going, I don't like this. It kind of has that Rebels feel a little bit. Like, I forget who said it at the beginning, like, oh, it's, Rebels season 5. Like, like, yeah, and in a way, I mean, it's got the feel of that. Again, I think it's good because, for people who Spencer knows someone. He knows someone that is a Rebels fan that isn't liking the show. Interesting. Okay. Interesting. Okay. This I think is opening up some cool story angles, and which gives us the possibility for some interesting stuff going forward. So I like it for that reason, and I'm interested in it, and I'm excited to see where it goes. So I dig it, man. So well, that's going to do it for our first episode on the Virtual Cantina Network. I thought it went well. Hopefully we didn't piss anybody off, and people aren't like, well, these guys suck. What the hell are they thinking about? Want to thank everybody in the chat for tuning in. All the new people, it's great to see you guys. Mike Delatorre, Johnny Gargano. All of our regulars, we got Cale McLeish, our good buddy Spencer. Thanks for inviting us onto the network, Spencer. Appreciate that. David, program director, I believe he is. We've actually got the bigwigs of the VCN here with us. So Vandalorian, good to see you, man. Like we said in the beginning, guys, if you're new to the show, we really encourage, as you can see, you guys jumping in and throwing comments in the chat so we can bring those up and kind of talk about it, joke about it, whatever. Like I say, Mike Delatorre, great to meet you. He says, great show, guys. May the Force be with you and with you. We love you guys interacting, man. We want you guys to be a part of the show. It's a blast for us to actually interact with you guys. So thank you guys for tuning in. AJ, if you wouldn't mind, why don't you pull up the upcoming shows on the Virtual Cantina Network? Why don't we show everybody what the fine Virtual Cantina Network has coming up? So on the screen right now, this is great for all of our audio viewers. We have the VCN watch schedule for this week. Obviously, Rebels Revisited and our show have already happened. But tomorrow, on Thursday, August 31st at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 p.m. Pacific, we've got the VCN watch-along of Ahsoka Episode 3. On Friday, September 1st at 3 a.m. Eastern, 12 midnight Pacific, it is the Ahsoka After Show reactions to this week's episode. And if I would get the damn banner off the screen, there's also... Hold on one second here so I can read it. Nice work, JT. On Sunday, September 3rd at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific, we have the Jedi Archives, Quest of the Jedi. So make sure to check out those fine shows. coming up in the next few days here on the Virtual Cantina Network. And Daughters of the Force, I believe it's called, will be on next Wednesday in our time slot. So we're swapping Wednesdays with them.
Daughters of the Galaxy.
Daughters of the Galaxy. Thank you. I had that wrong. So yeah, make sure to check that show out. It's a fantastic show, much more intelligent than ours. So you definitely want to, if you want to cleanse yourself of our ridiculous bullshit, then there you go. Check that out next week. But yeah, once again, guys, we are starting a Patreon. So AJ will post all of the information on that in the socials. To be completely honest, AJ's running that because I don't know what the hell to do for a Patreon. So, but
I don't either, but I'm trying anyway.
Well, you did just double my monthly StreamYard bill right before we went live. So appreciate
You're welcome,
that.
Twitch.
Yeah. Nice. Oh, man. Bryce Nyhart says, awesome job, guys. Appreciate it, Bryce. Nice to meet you, man. Hopefully we see you again in the future here. Mimar, always great to see you. See you guys tomorrow. Yep. Awesome. So don't forget, guys, we are brought to you by Audible. Go to audibletrial.com/NHC for your 30-day trial and a free audiobook download. If you are watching on our YouTube channel, click that like button, click that subscribe button, smash the notification bell, and go to the YouTube channel of the Virtual Cantina Network and do the same there. Also on the Facebook, if you're new to our show, give us a like out there. If you're new to the Virtual Cantina Network, give them a like. Just, do all that cool sharing stuff and subscribe and like to everybody's thing. And if you would like to get customizable Nerfherder Council swag, you can do so at shop.nerfherdercouncil.com. And if you would like to get some Virtual Cantina gear, you can do it at tpublic.com/user/virtual-cantina. Once again, guys, we appreciate you for tuning in. Hopefully you enjoyed. If this is your first time seeing us, hopefully you enjoyed the Nerfherder Council. We are going to be right back here in 2 weeks, and the date is going to be, what is it going to be, AJ? It'll be the 13th. It'll be Wednesday, September 13th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So tune in, jump in the chat, and have a good time with us, man. So until next time, I am your host, JT at Dog Pound Jedi. He is AJ.
At Drake Adams 579.
And guys, we will catch you next time.